And a very warm welcome to Wednesday Night Live. And for the next hour, I'm going to sit here and sleep at you. I'm a bit broken. Oh, God, never mind. Cheers, darlings. I'm hoping this is going to help. God, I'm dreading it, actually. I don't know if it's going to be the best thing or the worst thing. Oh, well, we'll see how we go. Thank you for joining me for... Yes, where are we? Right, it's Wednesday. Yes, put some enthusiasm into it, boy. Good evening, my perfectly white bottoms, and a very warm welcome to Wednesday Night Live with me, Boaty, coming live into your eyes and ears direct from Windy Bottom here in the Peak District National Park. Oh, yes. And what shall we talk about tonight? Oh, God, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I'm going to rely on you lot tonight because I am absolutely jiggered, buggered, knackered, cracked, broken, arsed up. I am hanging out of my arse, basically. So what can we talk about? Well, you can tell me what sort of a day you've had. You can abuse me for my lifestyle, leaving me a washed up wreck at 4 minutes past 11 on a Wednesday night. Oh, God. What else? What were we talking about yesterday that we could carry on? I got absolutely no memory. What's your favourite pie? I thought that would be a fantastic feature. I mean, you know, it's what YouTube's all about, isn't it? What's your favourite pie? Live with Boaty. Or you could just do the sensible thing and talk amongst yourselves. Well, I just quietly go to sleep or... Oh, dear. Right, who have I got? Oh, now, there is a slight possibility that there may not have been a daily diary today. And I would like to apologise for that. There should have been a daily diary. I did, or did I? Well, I've got no idea if I did one or not. I don't remember doing it. Somebody help me out. Was there a daily diary this morning? And I'll see who's here. Stay cold. Good evening to you, Barry. Good evening to you. Croeso I Wednesday. Thank you very much. Jimmy Quinn is with us. Good evening, Boaty. Good evening, Jimmy. The lovely Sophie Richardson. Hi, everyone. How are you all today? And hello, Boaty. How has your day been today? Don't ask. Well, I mean, it's been absolutely fabulous, but it's left me a shattered wreck of a human being. Dinosaur Dad is here, the lovely Russ. Oh, God. What are you pinging me for? Oh. And Russ says, wow, I'm here early for a change. Hi, all. Rover Joe is here. Hello, chums, and good evening to you, Rover Joe. Brad Book says, good evening, all. You look knackered, bunny lad. Oh, like you wouldn't believe. Neil Gibbons, a.k.a. the Gibbinator. Hello, all. Hope we've had a pleasant day. Well, I hope you've had a pleasant day. Otto MG is here and says, good evening, Boaty. How are you? And a good evening to everyone. And Joe has been busy welding again. Have you had a Savoy yet? Asks Barry. And my favourite part, I'm not reading that out, Barry. You should be. Oh, and don't talk about that at the moment. I completely forgot about the Savoy thing. Did I do a daily diary today? Because if none of you tell me, I'm going to have a look at the channel and check. Because I'm honestly not sure if I did or not. Minced beef and onion pie for Jimmy. Did you get any sleep, says Joe? Yeah. Sophie says, I've had a good day, being up and down and then chilled out the rest of the night. and I had chicken wraps and salad with beetroot. Hi, Boat says Skick. Good evening, Skick. Black Lion says evening, all. If you're too tired, say goodbye and go to bed, says Jimmy, like my nanny used to. Neil, the Gibbinator, has Black Lions channel membership, City Rover. Thank you, Black Lions. Were you a channel member before? Or, brilliant. A lovely new shiny channel member. Thank you very much. Neil says, I've located a Mr. Dave supplier half a mile from my house, planning to bring you some up. Oh, brilliant. I didn't locate a Mr. Dave supplier. I think I managed to establish that the freezer shop at Wheelie Castle Square is still there. I also established that it's a 2-hour drive away and it involves going through Birmingham, which has probably got some sort of bloody ULEZ thing on it, hasn't it? So, right, none of you are telling me about the daily diary, so I'm going to have to go and look before I fully apologise and explain. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. Content. Oh, well, take your time. Don't rush. I mean, I'm just doing a live here. You just swirl away with your... here we are. Latest one was Monday the 11th. What day is it today? Wednesday. So I should have done... Right, there was no daily diary today. So, yeah, I do apologise for that. I will put that right. How the hell do you spell blue? How the hell do you spell blue? Well, like that, Russ. B-L-U-E. Oh, this time you're on the cheap plan, Black Line. Well, can't fault you for that. That's what I put it there for, to make it nice and affordable for everybody. Right, so last night, my lovelies, last night I may not have been entirely alone. And as a result of that, there was some drinking going on. And then this morning, I was quite busy. And that's why there was no daily diary. And then there was a lunch at the local pub and there was wine. And then in the afternoon, this afternoon, isn't it? I was busy again, twice to be specific. And a combination of all of that, the restaurant was packed full tonight. Wednesday night, there should be 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Like last night, restaurant was heaving, full to capacity. So the result of all of that is that I mean, you know, I've got everything wrong with me that you can imagine. I'm hungover, I'm knackered, I'm sleep deprived, I ache, I'm sore. I've got you name it, I've got it wrong with me at the moment. I've been feeling sick. God, this will help. This will get me back on the straight and narrow, and a bit of curry and a good night's sleep on my own. That's what's needed. Oh dear. Shagged out Boaty. Did you show at your lower ankle? Oh dear. Bad Book says my MX-5 is black. Mine was black. That's why it was called Black Betty. Although mine was a Eunice Roadster. And it wasn't really mine because I bought it as a present for Mrs. Boaty. And it had permanent watermarks in the paint. 10 years of too much wax. Google suggested Megula's Wash Plus. Amazing stuff. Old wax removed and waxed and beautifully shiny again. Hurrah! And hurrah indeed, Bad Books. I was talking about this on Facebook. That when I was a child, a very young child, I occasionally was given a copy of a comic called Dandy, or The Dandy, I think. And I was reminded the other day that there was a character in the comic called Rah Rah Randall. And I was just thinking about that. And it's such a lovely thing that's of its time. So, and I put a thing on it on Facebook about it on my personal profile, not on the our group or our page or anything like that. And it was Randall would go about his daily life, and there would be like an audience comment on the pictures, and whenever something bad happened to Randall, like he got in trouble, got caught in committing mischief or whatever, then the crowd would there'd be a written thing that's supposed to be the crowd saying boo, boo, again, boo. But if something good happened, like he got away with his bit of mischief, then the crowd would cheer him by saying hurrah, rah, or rah, rah. And I love that. I mean, how old school is that? The idea that you would actually, I mean, rah, rah. I mean, whoever said that? And yeah, it's a thing that was out of date in the 70s, really. I mean, hurrah, rah, and rah, rah for Randall. I mean, that's like 1950s, isn't it? But because comics in the 70s were written by public schoolboys, that kind of language lived on. It's like there was a character, what were they? The Scottish ones. And they used to say jings and crivens. And no Scottish people say jings or crivens, apart from Hamish and Dougal and these guys in the comic. And I just love that idea. Boo, rah, rah. And then in the, because of course, being a comic, happy ending and all of that, Randall always came out on top, didn't he? So in the last picture of the comic strip, it would be rah, rah for Randall. And I mean, it's just so deliciously awful. And I love that. I think we need more things like that in life now. I can think of nothing that I would love more, apart from perhaps an adrenaline injection and a good night's sleep, than having somebody follow me about going through my daily life with cards that said, that either said boo or rah, rah. So as I'm going through my day, one of the cars break down or something, or the neighbour comes around and shouts at me, and the card would go up going boo, and it would be just behind my head there. That would make a brilliant video. Or I have a really nice lunch that I really enjoy, rah, rah, or hurrah, rah. And then in the very last thing of the night, which would be, after the live stream, and I say, oh, it's been a fabulous live stream. You've finished my day on a high note. Thank you, darlings. I'm the happiest man alive. Good night and God bless to you all. And then the sign would go up behind me saying, rah, rah for Boaty. I would love that. Oh, dear. I'm not reading that. Just a stupid blue elephant on your Facebook page. Sorry, Ross. I've figured out what you're on about now. Sounds like an intense pottering, says Barry. And Bad Book says you shouldn't be busy twice in an afternoon at your age. You're quite right. God above. Cheeseburger's here. And Cheeseburger says nearly burned his balls on the exhaust pipe. Where are the Mr. Daves? Oh, don't forget to put your wine in the freezer. I've done that. Cheeseburger says bad books. His arthritic wrists are killing him. Bad book says mine's the UNOS Roadster in brilliant black, literally after wash play. Oh, there you go. So we were UNOS Roadster buddies. I think Mrs. Boaty has still got black, Betty. She doesn't entirely talk to me anymore, which is a shame. I've talked about this before. I think it's a massive shame that we can't always stay jolly good chums with our exes. Mrs. Boaty and I were very close after our divorce. There were times when we literally couldn't have been any closer, quite a few times. And there were better times than when we were married, really. When when I got together with Boo, Mrs. Boaty and I were still jolly good friends. Yeah, there was a kind of overlap thing, really. And so when I started dating Boo, then it rather put Mrs. Boaty's nose out of joint. Yeah, so we don't really speak anymore, which is a shame. I'd love to be friends with all of my exes. I'm still friends with. I'm not friends with fiance number 1. Fiance number 2, I'm still friends with. We're still friends on Facebook. So on and so on and so on. Fiance number 3, which one was that? God, who was number 3? It would have been after. Oh, so it would have been I think it would have been Leun. I think it would have been Chinese Madam Mark 1. And yeah, we weren't friends. And then we were very briefly friends when she'd opened a law firm in Switzerland. And then we were very quickly not friends again because she remembered how angry she was with me. I'm not friends with fiance number 4, who was Chinese Madam Mark 2, I think, Lingley. Yeah, she was very angry with me as well. In fact, there seems to be a theme here, doesn't there? Fiance number 5, not friends, very angry with me. Fiance number 6, not friends. Fiance number 6 was Lena, the Ukrainian girl. No, I don't think she's particularly angry with me. I think that we just grew apart. Fiance number 6, Lisa, bless her, Lisa. Yeah, definitely not friends. Yeah, sadly, she was angry with me. Number 8 was I'm not friends with as many. I thought I was friends with loads of them. I was at the point that I got married because they all came to the wedding. Callan came, Mel came. Oh well, there we are. Anyway, the point is that I wish I was still friends with all of them. And yeah, sadly, Mrs. Boaty and I no longer speak. Haven't spoken to Boo for ages. I mean, yeah, Boo was angry with me. And then we started speaking again, but and I got a bit upset and annoyed that she wouldn't let me see Jess. So yeah, we haven't spoken for ages, although there's no actual fallout going on there, I don't think. And Chinese Madam obviously wouldn't piss on me if I was on fire. But there we are. Good old Boaty, says Jimmy. Right, yeah. Where did I get to? Yes, here we are. Did you propose those black lines? No. If I drink a bottle of wine tonight, I'll probably do it before. Oh, hang on, did I? No, I didn't. No, I definitely didn't. I never actually do it when I'm with them. It's always late at night when I'm on my own. When you're do you know what I think it is? When you're on your own, then, especially if you've had a glass of wine, then you put on a pair of rose-tinted spectacles, and all you remember is how great it is to be with that particular person or a person. And that's all that you fixate on. So you end up proposing. Whereas when you're actually with them, as good as it might be, you've always got that little reminder at the back of your mind that, this is nice, but you wouldn't want it 24/7. Gets in the way of you being you. So I don't tend to propose in person. Well, not these days anyway. Not since I discovered I was one of those people back in the day who always, for whatever reason, always had to have a woman about. And you know, it's probably a deep-rooted, deep-seated inferiority complex, really, or just, well, I don't know what it is, but as you get a little bit older, you learn how to be happy being on your own, and you know, and I mean, not just in terms of a relationship, but just in terms of solitude. I mean, now most of my happiest times are I'm very happy with my own company. I mean, I enjoy other people's company as well, but I'm happy with my own company, and I find that a mix thereof is the best way. And I'm not sure how well I would cope now with being in a situation where somebody is there all the time. I think a lot of my relationships were quite good because they were busy professional people. I mean, it's like with Mrs. Boaty, certainly in the latter years, she spent half of her time jetting off around the world for work. So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, exactly, Ross. Exactly. Jings, Chrisens, help my boy. Oh, Willie. The Bruins. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Oh, go on. Let's talk comics. I don't know much about comics. I had a few copies of the Dandy when I was a small kid, and I probably had a couple of Dandy annuals. I vaguely remember Corky the Cat. I remember Desperate Dan. Was there somebody called Cuthbert? Was there somebody called Cuthbert? But yeah, oh, remind me. What? Okay, well, there's a feature. Oh, I'm so sorry. My entire body is just disintegrating in front of you. I'm going to self-medicate with a bottle of wine and a really good curry, and it'll either kill me or it'll cure me, along with a really good night's sleep. And then I've got 2 daily. I owe you a daily diary. I'm so sorry. You'll have 2 tomorrow. I promise you that. Oh, you probably enjoyed the rest. Dinosaur Dad says my favourite was Sid the Sexist in the Viz. Tit suit. Well, Viz. Yeah, there was a period where I loved Viz, quite a long period, and I probably would still love it. So I'm very happy to talk with Viz, and especially the television spin-offs of Viz. How many of you remember those? Now, specifically, let's talk about Roger Melly, the man on the telly. Well, I won't tell you. Let's see who of you remember. So there was a television version of the Viz cartoon Roger Melly, the man on the telly. So over to you, 1 point each. Who were the voices in the TV cartoon version of Roger Melly, the man on the telly? There were 2 voices, as far as I'm aware, and they were both famous people. Who were they? Go on, over to you. And I'll be very impressed if anybody remembers. So, to be fair to you, I will whisk through the comments so I can see if anybody's got. John Studley's with us and say, "Hey, Boaty, good evening from Hales Owen." Good evening to you, John. Thanks for joining us. Hales Owen, where I raced on a cycle track more than once. Someone at a Savoy says, "Barry, a pint of Sanatogen will sort you out," says Bad Books. Sophie Blesser says, "I'm really excited to see you and come up and see you and Paul." I'm excited about it too. I can't wait, Soph. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, you're such lovely people, and we have. I mean, the great thing about Neil and Sophie and Joe is that Mustard and I don't have to moderate ourselves. They've got our sense of humour, you know, so we don't have to moderate ourselves in any way, shape, or form. They can take it, and God knows they can also give it. And that's brilliant. And they're genuinely nice people. We had such a laugh. If you, if you haven't already seen it, do have a look at the lunch video that that Neil and Sophie did with me and Mustard, and do have a look at the one that we did with Joe and Simon was there as well. And I'm sure that a lot of it. And what I'm really pleased about is I take a lot of pride in this, to be honest. Joe and Neil and Sophie have become friendly. And I think it's brilliant that really good friendships are being made through my ridiculous YouTube channel and this community thing that between us we've built up. And they're not the only one. There are friendships springing up left, right, and centre. And I'm so proud of that and so pleased about it. I think it's lovely. I mean, whether it's through good fortune or good management, probably good luck, to be honest, I seem to have just attracted a shed load of lovely people that watch my videos and live streams and stuff, presumably because they feel sorry for me or they've performed some dreadful crime and they're having to do some community service. But they're all lovely people, and there are lovely people forming friendships with other lovely people, and long may it continue. I'm really excited about where things are going to go, and this coming weekend is going to be a prime example of that. I'm going to have a holler and a hoot with Neil and Soph and Joe, and they'll have a hoot with each other, and productive things will also get done whilst we are having a hoot. They get to hang out in a hotel, which is always good fun. There's going to be some good food going on, and if I've got anything to do with it, there's going to be some pretty lively live streams. I'm really looking forward to that. Neil says, Mr. Dave's are sold in Gill Supply stores. There's one at the factory outlet down the road from me. Ah, right. Our Greyhound is called Black Betty, says Bad Books. What sort of wine do you have? Asked Sophie. For choice, it's white. It's always dry. And for choice, French. Although to be honest, the wine I have on a daily basis is pseudo-Italian Pinot Grigio, and it's the Sainsbury's house variety because it's cheap. But if I wasn't so poor, then I would be drinking something white, dry, and French. But a cheap Pinot Grigio can still be a thing of great joy, especially when you've got past half a bottle, because you don't you're feeling no pain then, are you? Oh, and I've just thought, going back to the rah-rah for Randall or Boaty thing, I was just thinking, I thought I should add in, I didn't pay for lunch today. And there should be a little card behind me going, rah-rah. Little victories. I'm not, oh, right, Barry says, I'm not friends with fiance 1. Fiance 2 is Mrs. SETI Alpha 5. All right, there we are. Cheeseburger says, thanks, Neil. I'll try and find some near me. There should be loads near you, Cheeseburger. I mean, obviously I'm not there anymore, but they used to be sold in Spars. I mean, there was a point where Spars up here sold them. I don't know whether Dave fell out with Spar or whatever. Even the garage at Carver Crossroads. Well, I say it had them. It had one, and it was there for about 2 years. And I think one of the staff probably ate it, and they never got any more than. But around there, down there, they were everywhere. Beeley Garage always stocked the full range. The freezer shop at Wheelie Castle. The garages around Bromsgrove. Lots and lots of places. We should have a Mr. Dave's night. We should all meet up in the West Midlands, get an Airbnb and all tuck into Mr. Dave's. Boaty's had more fiancés and knackered Rovers, says Cheeseburger. I probably have at the moment, although the Rovers are starting to overtake them. I couldn't be asked with all of those women, says Black Lines. One's enough for me. I get enough grief. Well, there were only one at a time, Black Lines, mostly. Well, there were. No, I can't talk about that. Oh, dear. Cheeseburg says, John Studley, evening. Halesowen was my hometown. Whereabouts are you? And he's by Halesowen Football Club. There we are. Barry reads Commando War comics. Oh, Sabana is here. Young Sabana, who, bless him, he had a hell of a night tonight. I was telling them, mate. I was telling them how busy the restaurant was and that you're on your own, you poor little sod. Jason chilling in the live stream. We're still in the restaurant. Anyway, good evening to everyone. Yeah, well, I'm not exactly chilling, mate, but I do take the point. I am at home while you guys are still working away in the restaurant, or you certainly were when you wrote that comment. Yeah, when I left, see, the thing is, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, they're prep for the rest of the week, right? So if the restaurant happens to be insane, like it was last night and like it was tonight, and poor old Sabana's on his own, then everything becomes much more belated, because for a start, you've got all of the mess to, all of the detritus, everything that goes on with having 30 or 40 people in the restaurant. It creates a lot of washing up apart from anything else. But it also means that the prep that you would normally be doing between, well, I mean, you'd still have prepped between 3 and 5 or whatever, but the prep that you would normally do between 5 and 9 or 5 and 10, you've not been prepping, you've been serving. So that prep has still got to be done. So instead of turning the lights off at 10 o'clock or 10:30, locking the door and going home, those poor sods are having to do all of the prep that they weren't able to get done during what is normally a very quiet service time. So that explains why I'm sitting on my fat ass at home in my comfortable cottage talking to you, and Sabana, Ram, and Prem are or were still in the restaurant, still in the kitchen, still working hard. Hope you get out before too long, guys. Now I'll see you tomorrow night. I feel dreadful now. I would have been no use to them. I was hanging out my ass at a restaurant all tonight. They were taking the piss out of me naturally. John Morizzi says, I remember there was a Fat Slag spin-off. Yeah, TV spin-off there was. Don't know if the character voices were famous. But yeah, I don't know anything about the Fat Slag spin-off. I wasn't such a fan of the Fat Slags. I was a fan of Roger Melly, and I thought the TV thing was brilliant. Ross says, I think it was Peter Cook. I could be wrong. You're not wrong, Ross. Roger Melly on the TV comic spin-off, Roger Melly was voiced by the great, the one and only, the genius that was Peter Cook. But who was the other voice? There is still a point up for grabs. Barry says, don't know about Roger Melly, but Clive Dunn was the voice of the Smash Monsters. Well, I know who... Sorry, I've just read the next comment. I know who Clive Dunn was, of course, anybody of my vintage was, and I'm still not certain. There's a chance that Clive Dunn was number one the second I was born. Either Clive Dunn was number one when I was born, or George Harrison was number one with My Sweet Lord. I always thought it was George Harrison. But then I looked at something and there was a question of timing, and it could have been Clive Dunn with Grandad. Or I think it was it Clive Dunn and the St. Winifred's, or was that Grandma? I don't know. But I'd much rather it was George Harrison. He was a bit cooler. Neil says, you showed me a picture of your Willie. Of course you don't moderate yourself. It's true, I did. Oh, bless you, Sophie. So says, I really didn't want to leave when I last saw you both, and I did cry when I was on my way home. Oh God bless you. Oh, that's really sweet. Cheeseburger says, Neil, are you sure it was Boaty and not George Michael? Look. It's true, I did show a naked picture of myself, but in my defense, it was a picture of when I was about 4 years old. It's not like I showed them a graphic picture of me as a hairy-arsed adult. I was cute. My little Tinkle was cute. Bless it, tiny little thing. I was in a fountain in Cannon Hill Park in that picture. Could have been worse, says Bad Books. Video title, There's No Such Thing as a Free Lunch. Oh, I like that one. I've screenshotted that. Oh, yeah, it is your job to title the live stream, of course. But I do like that one. Oh, and the title from Otter MG, Twice in an Afternoon, rah, rah for Boaty. I like that one as well. Oh, dear. Oh, Russ says, I remember this. Buster Gonad and his unfeasibly large testicles. He used to push them around in a wheelbarrow. I mean, that is just, oh God, I forgot about that. That is the best title for a comic strip that I've ever heard. I love that. I mean, you know, the Buster Gonad thing, that's, you know, that's just standard. Little bit, you know, predictable, but absolutely fine. I just love the deliciousness of and his unfeasibly large testicles. That's the kind of thing that I would come up with. And just the idea of somebody having unfeasibly large testicles. I do remember that. Oh, cheeseburger. Oh dear. Buster. Who else was in this? Oh, and I've caught up with the comments, and nobody has guessed or remembered who the other voice was in the Roger Melly TV. Shall I give you some clues? What clue can I give you that won't just give it straight away? Famous, funny person. Not a comedian as such, but I don't know. Somebody who has appeared in sketch shows, shall we say? And yeah, he played all of the other parts apart from Roger Melly. I mean, my favourite episode was when Roger had to go and play golf with Bruce Forsyth and Jimmy Tarbuck, but of course they couldn't use the name, so it was Bruce Fivesyth and Jimmy Tarbrush, and the other person was having to do all of the other voices. Oh, and that was such a funny. I remember it in the comic, and of course Melly's got no idea how to play golf. When he gets the phone call that he's supposed to be there, he's in bed with two women. His producer rings him up and says, Where are you, Roger? You're supposed to be playing golf, and you're teeing off in 5 minutes. Hang on a minute, will you? I've got both my hands full here, if you know what I mean. Good old Roger Melly. And so he goes off to play golf with, I bet you it's on YouTube. Have a look on YouTube for Roger Melly, the man on the telly. There were only about 3 episodes. And whoever got Peter Cook to do Roger Melly just absolutely nailed it. I mean, that was inspired. Peter Cook was Roger Melly. He was that man on the telly. And so, oh God, yeah, he's playing golf with, and the other voice, who you still have to guess, he was doing the proper takes off of Bruce and Jimmy. I'll make sure you never work in TV again. TV again, I'll make sure you never work in. And yeah, that was after Roger Melly was caught short and took a dump in the bunker. and Bruce sliced his drive and it landed right in Roger Melly's turd. You've got a very tricky lie there, Brucey. Ha-ha! Oh, and it was quite a cruel impersonation of Jimmy Tarbuck. My wife's so ugly, etc., etc., etc. Ha-ha! Oh, dear. Oh, Barry says, do you really want to hurt me by Culture Club was number one the day that he was born? Oh, God, you youngster, that's 1980s. Dear me. So says, I would think it should make models of everyone with their boxer name. That would be funny. I would pay good money for a little action figure of the lovely Joseph Lloyd in full wrestling costume with the beige bomber all across there. And I would also pay money for a little action figure of Captain Mustard with the hairy podgerer across it. Yes, John Moretti. I couldn't think of his name, but you're right. I think Roger Melly's manager and producer was called Tom. Yes. Beard and glasses. Yes. Tweed jacket. Yes. Who was his voice though? It was a very famous comedy character actor and sketch show actor. He was in a sitcom as well from the 1980s. I think his first big TV job was doing voices in Spitting Image. How's that for a clue? That's right, Tom. Of course it was Tom. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I might manage some curry after all. Thank you, darling. You cheered me up. Oh, car news. Well, there's not much car news. Just to say that when we went to the pub briefly for an early lunch before, we should have bloody stayed there all afternoon instead of coming back and being busy. Went out in Mingebag, and I took Mingebag to work tonight because I'd forgotten how much I love driving Mingebag, and I've been to work in Mingebag, and I really enjoyed it. And that's it. Those seatbelt tidy things, I fitted them. I actually fitted them when I got to work tonight, before the world and his wife decided they wanted to come and eat in the restaurant. And I discovered that they're quite cool, but they're also pretty pointless for me. I mean, I've bought them now, so I might as well put them on the car. And they came from Graham, so they weren't expensive. But if you don't know, the seatbelt tidies, you put the headrest through them. They've got a little hole in them, and then they've got a slot for the seatbelt. And the MGF seatbelt is right back there, and it's a bit of a reach to get it, or at least it would be if you're not me. Now, obviously, because I'm enormous, I have my seat jammed back all the way. So it's not that much of a reach for me. But if you had your seat in a more normal place, a little bit further forward, it would be a nightmare getting the seatbelt. So they made these really cool little brushed aluminium things, which bring the seatbelt here just by the side of your seat. So I fitted them and realized that, yeah, I don't really need them, but they are cool and they look good. So they're there anyway. And I did that. I did do a thing today, and I put a bit of fuel in because I'm probably going to take Mingebag next Sunday to the Great British Car Journey, which is, it's a multiplicity of things now. It's an MGZ register organised meet at the Great British Car Journey, which is the thing in its own right. I'm so sorry. And given that it's an existing thing that will be very well attended, Simon has very sensibly designated it as his channel, second meetup. Very sensible, because nobody can claim it wasn't a success. It's going to have hundreds of people there because it's another massive thing. And I said I would never go to the Great British Car Journey again, but Joseph said, would you like to meet up there? I'm coming up, and I would love to see Joseph again. So I'm going, even though I said I never would again. And I've kind of got myself to grips with it a bit. I mean, it's dead local to me. I'm not going to get ripped off and go and look in the museum, because I've done that now. I wish I hadn't. Well, no, I don't wish I hadn't. That's not fair. I'm glad that I did. But I would never do it again, because it's massively overpriced and entirely not worth it. But very kindly, they allow you to use the car park and their cafe for a mere £5, and it's worth a £5. I mean, it's quite a nice. Well, I mean, I was going to say it's like a nice area. It's not. It's rank. It's an old industrial site on the shitty banks of the River Derwent, surrounded by crap. But it's close to some nice things, and it's a nice drive to get there. And I don't mind shelling out a £5 to get a bit of content and to meet up with somebody that I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing again. I mean, he's probably going to be doing one of his shambolic shuffles, isn't he? So I don't suppose we'll get much done, but he's coming back up next month when he's not actually working, and we'll get to spend more time together and hopefully do some stuff together. But I shall go and take some sandwiches or take some curry in my food flask, get a bit of content, see some people, and I won't grumble. I shall jolly well make the best of it. That's what I'll do. Why am I talking about that? I can't remember why I started talking about that now. Have a look at the comments. Phil Cool says cheeseburger. No, but Bad Books was the first one to get it. Harry Enfield, quite correct. Harry Enfield it was. And cheeseburger was immediately afterwards, also saying Harry Enfield. That Barry says a Mr. Lloyd figure has to have a T-shirt saying no diesels. Well, it would have to have the beige bomber on there as well now, wouldn't it? Now that Joe came up with that little element of brilliance. Did you see that 400 I sent you? No, sorry, Neil. I've had my mind on other things. I will look at it now, though. Well, it's not letting me open the link. Oh, hang on. Here it is. Oh, Neil. Well, great minds thinking alike and whatnot. Thank you, by the way. Thank you for sending me that. Okay, right. Well, I'll let you into a little secret, you lovely people. That car that you sent me, Neil, that is owned by a friend, an FOM, a friend of Mustard. I don't know who it is, actually, but there's been some pinging going on because there have been cars arriving at the yard and whatnot and stuff. Yeah, so the link to the car that you sent me, Neil, that's owned by a friend of Mustard, and we've already been privately offered that car, and I'm 99.9% certain that we are going to buy it. So well spotted, sir. Thank you for sending it. Because as it happens on this occasion, Mustard had already been offered it, and we have been, well, we've got a three-way conversation going on, a three-way. And if you're wondering about this whole business thing, and what's going on with that, I don't mind telling you. I don't mind sharing. What we're doing, the three of us, me, Mustard, and the unknown banker. Sorry, that went down the wrong way. We're doing an extended, no pressure proof of concept. So what we're doing is we're figuring out if the three of us can work together, if we trust each other. We're trying to streamline the yard, get rid of the rubbish so that, and I don't mean rubbish in a disrespectful way, I mean get rid of the projects or, free up space, basically. And if we all decide that, yeah, this is a goer, it's working well, we like each other, we trust each other, there's space to make it viable, then at that point, then we will form a limited company as a partnership, and it will become a much more real thing. Now, one of the three of us was up for doing that sooner than the others. And to be fair, it was me that said, look, let's do an extended proof of concept. Mustard and I had a go at this last year, and we had a lot of fun, but in terms of business, we made a bit of a howling arse of it. So let's take the pressure off. Let's do an extended proof of concept, have a bit of fun. We can do it at our own pace, and just, get things gradually in place. And if everything goes according to plan, then yeah, at some point then, oh, my candle's coming towards the end of its life. At that point, then we can go ahead and formalize everything and set up an actual logistical doings. So that's what we're kind of doing with it. And in fact, I'm really happy with the way that things are going. None of us, I don't think, ever wanted or envisaged this being an out-and-out business thing. We're never going to be Chop's Garage. And, I think James is brilliant. I think he's a lovely chap. I really enjoy his YouTube channel. He's got a really good operation going on down there. But that's never going to be us. It's going to be more of a lifestyle business allied to at least 2 YouTube channels. And that's the way that it's going to go. I mean, it will become more formal than it is now, but it's never going to be out and out. There's always going to be a bit of fun and a bit of nonsense. And I don't want too much pressure. And I'm not giving up the restaurant anytime soon or anything like that. Mustard needs plenty of time to do his own thing and develop his channel. I need to do the same, but I'm really pleased with the way that things are going. I mean, you must be honest, we're doing better than the first time round when we tried, and we're managing to find some nice cars. We're getting a bit of content out of them, and so far, we haven't advertised a car yet. We are yet to actually advertise a car, and yet we've put a couple of really nice cars with some really nice new owners, and that's just through doing the YouTube thing. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that things are going. We're not massively going out to actively source cars. We're letting it happen. I mean, occasionally I will come across, or I will proactively go out and source a car, like I did with the Mingebag and with Fanny. But a lot of it is just happening organically, and it's nice just to be in a situation so that when cars that we want to be part of our thing when they come up. It's nice to know that the funds are always there to grab hold of them. And it's lovely to think that you... Oh, Bernard, this is really not a good time to call me, darling. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Sorry about that, guys. I better answer it. I should keep ringing. Hey, darling. You okay? I'm in the middle of doing a live stream, sweetheart. I'm going to be finishing in about 8 minutes. Yeah, I'll send you the link. Yeah, no problem. All right, catch you in a bit. Bye. We're going to be joined by Bernard. I just need to send her the link. Bear with. Copy link. Go to Messenger. Send link. Okay, there we go. Now, for Christ's sake, be careful what you say, you lot. Don't type anything about anything. I'm trusting you. Right, where did I get to in terms of the comments? Oh, I was talking about the old... Yeah, so I'm I'm really happy with the way that that everything's gone, and it's nice to just do it slowly. It's you know, it's nice that it doesn't matter when we have a bit of an arse up like we did this Monday. But you know, I think that it's going to be an ongoing thing. I love hanging about and working or playing with Mustard. The third wheel, the unknown banker, is just fitting in absolutely perfectly. I don't know if he's always going to, or she, it could be a she. I don't know if he or she is always going to remain unknown, or whether they will reveal themselves at some point. Who knows? But there we are. There we are. So yeah, it's all good. I'm having an absolute ball, and you know, we'll see how things go. But talk. Where was it? Where did I? Yeah, Neil. Thanks for sending the link, mate. Keep them coming, and that goes to any of you. Massive thanks to all of you who take the time and effort to send me or send Mustard a link to a car that you think might be of interest, or tag us in a Facebook post. Really, really helpful. I would have been gutted not to have seen that one, Neil, so I'm doubly grateful to you. But as it happens, we have been offered that privately. I think it's going to be a Mustard and Boaty car, and I think there have been messages going on in our little three-way. But, oh God, what now? Who's teletexting me? Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Vodafone. Nice to know you're on the case. We've had one car come into the yard today or yesterday. There's going to be another one, I think, at some point this week. And Neil, I think that one, I think if I saw the message correctly, then I think that that's going to be next Monday's acquisition adventure. So there we are. Let's get back to your comments. Cheeseburger says, seat jam back all the way in Minge Bag. Hop on, baby. Dear. There's a nice one at KGF at the moment, says Cheeseburger. What are we talking about there? KGF? Oh, I'll tell you what we did see. Was it in the live stream? I'm not sure if it was in the live stream on Monday, but we went past on the way home on Monday. We went past trophy cars. Now, I've heard about trophy cars. I don't know anything about them. I'm just vaguely aware that they are specialists in MGF stroke TF, and that cars that come from there tend to be most awfully expensive. But my gosh, when you drive past, what an enormous place. There must have been, there were hundreds of cars there, absolutely hundreds of cars. And although I understand they're not the cheapest place, I've not heard anything bad about them. Apparently, really, on the basis that you pay for, or you get what you pay for, apparently the cars that come from there are top notch. The place in Glossop has got the same sort of reputation. I spoke to, I can't remember who it was I spoke to, but obviously Wetleg from Tittybiscuits, my MGF, came from, I think they're called, I've forgotten what they're called, but they're in Glossop anyway. And I asked somebody about them because, Wetleg came from there. And they said, if it comes from there, then it will have been properly done. It'll have been expensively done, but it will have been properly done. Where did I get to? Did anyone see the Rover that was on a hill with red wine going down the road? It was on the news. I think everybody saw that, Soph. It was it's been doing the rounds on the Facebook thing. At least one person has suggested that I would have been very annoyed not to have been there, because I would have simply lain in the road and drank all of the wine, thereby getting rid of the problem, as it were. Although, of course, in real life that would never have happened, because I cannot drink red wine, my loves. One of the things about my MH, it means that I cannot drink red wine. White wine, I can pour it into me intravenously, but red wine is a big no-no. Oh, hello, Mustard's here. Hello, chickens, says Mustard. Mustard, how are you, darling? My favourite hairy Paddington. How you doing? And Mustard is, of course, doing his normal thing. He turns up 3 or 4 minutes before the purported end of the live stream. Now, he will tell you that this is because he's been busy editing videos. It's not that. The reason is twofold. One, I'm his best friend. He wants to support me. He wants to be seen to be on my live stream. Two, he thinks my live streams are absolute crap, as well as all of my videos. And he doesn't want to sit through a whole one. So he turns up 3 or 4 minutes before the end so that he can say, yeah, I was there. Damn it. I missed the first hour. Those blasted those videos do need editing, don't they? But I was there. So anyway, how are you, Mustard, my dear boy? Is it sorted? Are we going on Monday? I've not been to the Great British Car Journey yet, says Bad Books. It's on my to-do list. I wouldn't put it too highly up there. It's all right. It's all right. And if you were going to a meet and you were meeting with friends there and whatnot, then it's fine as a venue for that. As a standalone place to visit, not so much, to be honest. It's it's all right, but it's the price point is for a thing that is a bit more than all right. The price point is for a thing that is great, and it's not great. It's all right. And if I'd have paid full whack to go round it, the time that I did go round it, well, I didn't pay anything at all. And as it turns out, I feel that was about the right amount to pay. So, oh, well, I suppose it doesn't hurt. It's only a few quid, isn't it? But yeah, there we are. I'm going to try and blag it, by the way, on Sunday. I contacted them before, and I said, I asked them, I presume that you have a press concession for press wanting to turn up and write an article or make a film or so, and they said, no, absolutely not. No press concessions for anybody, which means that if you've seen Hugnut at the Great British Car Journey, or if you've seen Mr. Lloyd at the Great British Car Journey, they paid. They paid same as you do. And I'm buggered if I'm going to. So I'm going to try and blag it on Sunday. I've been there. I didn't pay. I don't particularly want to pay this time. It's okay. It's okay. I don't know. I think I did a live stream video when I walked around there, and it's probably not fair for me to judge it, because when I walked around it, all I saw were a load of cars, all of which I've owned or had through my hands. And so it's like, okay, there's a Silver Shadow. I've had about 90 of those. Okay, there's an SD1, had shed loads of those. All right, there's a Sierra Sapphire, lost count of how many, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And there wasn't really anything there that made me go, wow, I'm so glad that I've seen this. They were just gentle reminders of cars that I'm very familiar with and that I've actually owned. But if you haven't been me, or if you haven't been in a situation where you have had first-hand experience with all of those cars, maybe you would view it very differently, and maybe I'm being unfair. My chrysanthemums are still doing all right, aren't they? I think they've got about 2 days left in them before they start looking destitute and dissolute. Yo, mustard says cheeseburger. Neil, yes, he has. Oh, that's in reference to the thing, yeah. Ross says, I did think of a name for someone. There was the Undertaker in WWF. So who could be the Overtaker? Oh, that's quite a good one, isn't it? Who would be the Overtaker? Wouldn't be me. We're collecting it on Monday, are we? Jolly good. Oh, no, I'm not being the hard-shouldered cheeseburger. I resent that. I resent that. Right. You guys, you have all known me now for a year. It's a year. God, a year. A year. You know, you'd have had a shorter sentence for GBH, wouldn't you? In the whole year that you've known me, how many times have you seen me break down? Not personally. I mean, you've seen me break down personally any number of times. But how many times have you seen me break down in one of the fleet? And I'll answer that for you. It's one. The only time you've seen me break down is in Mingebag about 3 or 4 weeks ago with the lovely Joe, when the four-way coolant connector thing gave up the ghost. You've never seen me break down other than that, I don't think. Have you? Yeah, all right. There was a thing with Stigbürt, but Stigbürt didn't break down. I broke him, and there was a slight nudge in Derek. But again, that was me doing it, not the car breaking down. That looks yeah, it does look good, Neil. It does look good, and yeah. By the way, says Mustard, another new car video waiting for the end of this live stream. Only just finished editing. Oh, Mustard, that's going to be the Green Goddess, isn't it? I try not to give anything away. I am looking forward to watching that one, and as soon as I put down this live stream, I will jump onto that, because I'm really looking forward to that. I'm quite excited about that car, to be fair. So yeah, everybody, do get your bums over to the Project Nigel channel. Not now, wait until I finish. I mean, have some courtesy, if you be so good. And yeah, check out the video of the newest addition to the Mustard and Boaty Do Cars fleet. And remember, that all of the cars that Mustard and Boaty do, you could also do. They could be yours. They are for sale. That's exciting, isn't it? And this is rather an important one, if it's the one that I'm thinking about. And right. Neil says, I'll be watching that after this, Paul, by the way. Fantastic work on the bonnet of the 600. Where did that come from, Ross? Calling you to tell you to get a haircut. I do need a haircut, admittedly. John Maruzzi asks, is the cooling electrics on the MGF fixed? Well, it's actually the MGTF. My MGF is Wetleg from Tittybiscuits, and she's absolutely fine, although she does need an MOT. The cooling issue is on Betty Blue, my MGTF Cool Blue limited edition, known and loved by me and you as Melanie Mingebag. The cooling issue, yes and no. The issue that caused the breakdown was a four-way plastic coolant pipe connector that just exploded, gave way. Happens, plastic doesn't last forever. There will be stress fractures, whatever, and that just gave way. Now, that was fixed expertly by the wonderful Captain Mustard. So there are no cooling issues there. There is still a secondary underlying issue with one of the two cooling fans. Obviously, the F and TF have a cooling fan in the engine compartment, and they have a radiator fan at the front of the vehicle in the normal place, although the engine, of course, is mid-engine. The engine cooling fan works, the radiator fan does not, and is yet to be investigated, because you can drive the car perfectly well without the radiator fan. I took the car to work tonight, not a problem with it in the least. It was absolutely fine. It just means that you can't sit for half an hour in a traffic jam with the engine running, because you will overheat. So simple. If you're going to be stationary for more than 5 or 10 minutes, turn the engine off. It's no different to stop-start technology in a modern vehicle. Just means that you have to do it manually. So that's still an issue. That hasn't been investigated at all yet. I've not had a look at it. Going back to the beginning, I was told that when you bridge the contacts, the fan runs. So the fan itself is fine. So it's going to be an issue with the fan sensor or with the body control unit or the ECU. But either way, the car drives absolutely fine without it. I could drive that car to Australia tomorrow without a problem, but it will get looked at and sorted at some point. I'd love another 400, says Neil. I miss my old one. I love the 400 too. I'm gutted that one on Monday wasn't the car that we thought it was going to be. Mustard and Boaty do Motors is great timing for saving and stopping the remaining Rovers going into the wrong hands and finding safe homes within the community. Thank you, Bad Books. And yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. I mean, you're right, Rovers, MG Rovers, they're becoming fewer and further between, and therefore it's more and more important that that us or people like us do save them. And part of that procedure is we can't own them all. So part of that procedure is making sure they don't fall into the wrong hands, fostering them for a while, giving them some love, improving them a bit, and finding them their forever, ever home. And that's exactly what we're doing. Oh, Mustard says, yes, he's up for it on Monday. Let's eat some manifold meat. Brilliant. Right. So we've got an acquisition adventure for Monday. It's not too far away. I think it's Coventry. We did Coventry before. We went to Coventry for the MG, the F that we should have bought, I think. But if the circumstances had been different, I'd have bought that. But they weren't, so we didn't. And Mustard was quite right to make sure that we didn't. Right, so suggestions. Maybe I should join Mustard on the Manifold Meat Challenge. And for those who aren't aware, the Manifold Meat Challenge means that we've got to get something, some lunch, that we either cook or at least warm up. Oh, wine turd. On the exhaust manifold within the engine. So, in other words, we need some food that we can wrap up in foil or whatever, and we will put it in the engine at the beginning of the acquisition adventure, warm it up, obviously, through the warmth of the engine as we drive, and then we will eat it for lunch. And I'm not an animal like Mustard. I can't just eat a whole chunk of meat. He's like a lion. He's perfectly happy just eating meat. And I'm a little bit more refined, my lovelies. I like some side dishes with my meat. I couldn't eat just a whole side of beef. I would like some sauté potatoes or dauphinoise potatoes, or some beautifully, delicately steamed French beans, something of that nature. So we'll work on that. We'll have a think. We'll have a think about what we should eat on Monday. Yay, says Yay, says Otter MG. Manifold and Meat Monday. Trophy cars have got a great reputation, says Bad Books, keeping MGs on the road. Good on them. Ross very kindly says like. Yeah, please do tickle that like button. It does help me. Every YouTube channel has a percentage of likes versus dislikes, and that will affect the algorithm, which decides how much your videos get shared. And as I mentioned the other day, I put up a short that I knew it was going to be incredibly contentious. It got me a lot of views. It got me a lot of subscribers, but it also got me a fair bit of hate. Stop being a cock. Where's that come from? Oh, I see. You know I love your live streams. Yeah, you do. I apologize, Mustard. I was teasing. Mustard doesn't think my live streams are awful. He thinks my live streams are very good and that I'm quite polished. He thinks my videos are shit, but my live streams are okay. Did you previously say, says Bad Books, that the British car journey was £17 entry? About right nowadays, I'm afraid. Not cheap to get in anywhere. Oh, right, okay. Ben says, is it just me or is Tuesday's Daily Diary missing in action? It is missing in action, Ben. I have apologised and explained, and it will be going up tomorrow morning along with Wednesday's Daily Diary. 17 quid, says Black Lines. I'll have a lion. Cheeseburger says, breakdown? Stigbürt. Stigbürt didn't break down. I drove him into something. That's different. Russ also says Stigbürt von Thündercock, but no, that wasn't a breakdown. That was not a breakdown. That was my fault, not Stigbürt's. I'm not having that as a breakdown. Cheeseburger needs to go. See everyone soon. And again, massive thanks to Cheeseburger, who is on holiday with his family in America at the moment and still has the time to pop in and say hello to us. Oh, yes, Savaloys. Savaloys would be really good to cook in the engine, wouldn't they? Momo on the manifold, says Jimmy Quinn. Another good idea. Baked potatoes, says Dinosaur Dad. Safest manifold meat, says Bad Books, would be tinned hot dogs. If they're not done properly, you won't get the shits. That's a good point. Boaty, can we get some momos to take back with some of the chutney when we come up? Yeah, absolutely. Right, let me know before this weekend how many momo you want, and I will organise that. But let me know before this weekend, please. So they come in lots of... oh, sorry, Ross says, Boaty, that was your fighting name, the Crashing Thundercock. Actually, I'll take that. Yeah, Momo's not a problem, Neil, or for anybody else who wants them. They come in bags of multiples of 50. So minimum order is 50 and then in multiples of 50. And I can organise for Momo chutney to be supplied alongside. Price, in case anybody was wondering, it's 50 momos are 20 quid. And if you want enough chutney to cover those 50 momos, that's another tenner. So 50 momos and chutney is 30 quid altogether. Oh, you're right, John Marazzi. You're right. So, Neil, yeah, just let me know before the weekend and I'll get them sorted for you. Oh, mustard fancies sausages and a packet of bacon, maybe something else too. I might leave the manifold meat thing to you, mate. I think that's going to be your thing, and my thing is going to be posh curry in a food flask because I'm all over that. Oh no, I will join you. Right? Okay, here we go. We need to get the timing right, but the thing that was missing with my curry was a naan. So I'm going to go with my curry and my posh food flask, but I will take a naan or a roti, and that can be warmed in the engine. And that will be my element of manifold meat Monday or whatever. 50 and the chutney for you, Neil. Not a problem. Not a problem. John, you're quite right. I'm sure you had a breakdown in a Rover 75 and it got towed to your house and got fixed on the street by a proper garage. Absolutely correct, John. I'd completely forgotten about that. I had a bottom pulley go in Sir Arnold Robinson at the restaurant. I was recovered by the AA to here. Sir Arnold sat on the side of the road for about 2 months until Craig came and took pity and did a fix, a really difficult fix on the side of the road. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Boaty, get your little cooker and cook in a lay-by. We could do that, Jimmy, actually. Yeah, that's a possibility. You know, one of these collection trips, I could take the Land Rover and we could have a Land Rover lunch. The whole kit and caboodle, table, chairs, cookers, I could cook it. That is another option. Oh, apparently no, says Mustard. You have to join the danger of eating raw meat. Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to go with whoever it was, his ideas of hot dog, bad books, hot dogs. Yeah, then I can't get killed if they are bloody raw. Hot dogs will be quite nice. Darlings, it is 25 past the time that I was supposed to finish. And as you know, I am not, I am somewhat fragile and I'm best part of a bottle of wine in, I'm feeling much better. So thank you so much for joining me today. Apologies again for today's Daily Diary being missing. Expect 2 tomorrow. You will get Tuesday and Wednesday tomorrow lunchtime, I promise. Do join me again tomorrow night for the final live stream of this week. 11 o'clock tomorrow night, normal time, normal place. Do please join me. Do go straight over to Project Nigel, Captain Mustard's channel, to watch the latest video on our latest joint Mustard and Boaty Do Cars addition to our little fleet. Oh, bless you, Otter MG. Rah, rah for Boaty. I'll take that. After today, I will definitely take that. All right, darlings, I need to let you go. No, Jimmy, absolutely not. I don't think I could if my life depended on it. Good night, Sophie. Thank you for being here. Good night, Mustard. You big, hairy, lovely you. Good shout, Bad Books. I might well take you up on that. I will, Sophie, and sweet dreams to you too. Thank you very much. Good night, Jimmy. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for being here. It's been wonderful. I've enjoyed it. I always do. I will see you tomorrow. Night, Bad Books. So all of you, please have. Oh, good night, Neil. Oh, and GSJC5. Good night, Boaty. Good night to you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much. Absolutely right. Last one in bed. Please put the light out, and no hugging the covers, you lot. And you know the rules: no eating or drinking in bed, and clothing must be worn both on your upper and lower portions. If I'm sharing a bed with you lot, I want you covered up. Right, that's really it. I need to go and get some supper. Have a safe and peaceful night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Take great care of yourselves. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Much love from me, and I will see you tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. God bless.